First item on the agenda, Health Department update.
Hey.
Peggy Stevens and Jenn Donovan.
Yes. So I'm going to give you, I kind of wrote out, because it keeps me on track, an agenda for me today, so I'm going to give you that. Because we have a lot to talk about. The first thing I'd kind of like to address on the agenda is the Public Health Systems Improvement Grant. We've had this grant in the past, and it's up for reapplication. The $2 amounts that they're proposing through the grant is a $10,000 grant award or a $20,000 grant award. We're looking to do the $20,000 grant award. There is no match funds with this grant. So we just want to get and it's actually due by June 15th. So we want to get your okay to go ahead and apply again for the Public Health Systems Improvement Grant. Do you guys have any questions about that grant?
How long does that last for 20,000 over the period?
Just 1 year.
1 year.
As far as I know, unless they make it, because we haven't seen this year's actual grant application. So in the past one, it was 2 years. So we'd have to give you that information when we get the current grant information, the actual.
She says it's 1 year.
So.
And what's it used for? Or
What we used it for last year was doing our community health improvement plan with there was lots of good things that had helped, and we did that in collaboration with the hospital, remember that? And we did our, the community health assessment, somewhat, we redid that, the community health improvement plan, and our strategic plan. So we got like 3 big pieces done with that grant. So our goal next year would be look at pushing more towards accreditation, which this grant is to help build an infrastructure, and that there's dollars to help us do that, we need to go for it. I mean, kind of the trend of what public health is doing now is trying to succeed and go through the accreditation process, and if we have dollars to help us with that. So it's certainly all we want to do right now is apply for it. So to do that, we're just letting you know and getting permission to do that and start the process so we can be done by June 15th.
any problem with
Yeah,
that?
sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's no different than the one, there may be a few changes, but we did that last year and it was pretty successful, I think. So the next thing on the agenda to keep me is about my retirement. So I have my letter as I proposed to you guys, and I'll give one to Casey when I'm done. But I would like to read that in this meeting, my retirement, if that's okay with you. Great. And I kind of would like to look at the camera if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. All right, camera. So, this is a letter for my retirement, so I would like to address it to the commissioners and the people of Monroe County. I hope you can hear me because my voice is starting to weaken. I am writing to formally notify you of my decisions to retire from my position as the director of the Monroe County Health Department. My last day of employment will be June 30th of 2017, in which I will relinquish my duties. Jennifer Donovan, who has worked under my direction for the past 5 years, has expressed interest in taking on the role as the new director, and she has my utmost support and recommendation. It has been my absolute pleasure working for Monroe County Health Department and serving our community for the past 2 decades. It has been my goal to be an outstanding public servant and dedicate my work for the betterment of the community. During my tenure, access to public health services has increased while keeping the cost at a minimum to taxpayers and patients through securing numerous grants, which include maternal child health, public health emergency preparedness, best beginnings, tobacco prevention and awareness, WIC, immunizations, maternal, infant, early childhood home visiting service delivery, and public health systems improvement. Through these grants, the goal to serve our community, the health department has grown from a one-person operation to securing employment for a team of 9 highly qualified professionals to provide exceptional service and delivery of the programs and public health to our communities. I have no doubt that the great work and goals that have been established will continue to be an asset for our community and deliver the promise to provide skilled, affordable, accessible health care for years to come. I will continue to support our community and will be a resource for the staff moving forward. Thank you very much. Okay, on to the next. So I want to talk a little bit, I think I alluded to you at the last meeting we had about the sustainability and future of the health department. So currently, just to give you an idea, I oversee 8 employees and 9 different programs. And even with my years of experience, at the current hours that I'm working, it's not possible for me to complete all of my duties that were recommended or that I needed to have done. So under this crisis budget, the reduction was from 24 hours, which I was currently working, to 14 hours. And I would strongly encourage an increase to 24 hours at the least, because I don't feel that the current hours is sufficient enough to continue the operations of the health department. So, Jenn Donovan has expressed an interest in this position, and I'll just let her take the floor and any thoughts that she may have about her needs or concerns.
When I came 2 weeks ago, I think, or maybe it was a week ago, I said we were looking at all the positions and duties that we have in the health department, managing all those programs, and then immunizations and communicable diseases in addition to the public health director roles. And last year when we were preparing for the RIF stuff, we had done a time study based upon all of my hours worked that prior year, actually all the RN hours, and then what we underestimated the minimum duties of a director to be. And when we came up with this chart, and I had given it to you last year, and I have it now, but I don't want to overwhelm you right now because it's just so much stuff. We were trying to brainstorm, we were like, we could prepare everything, but I think the best thing to do is to find out what you still have questions about. But what we came up with was the minimum hours that we need for a director, and then we added in a director to cover the duties that the law requires, in addition to managing the people, in addition to managing the programs. And what we did was we added up all of the hours for Peg, myself, and Barb. And the hour requirements are more than what we had last year before the reduction in Peggy's hours. So basically, we feel that in order to do this job well, we need an increase in the hours. We understand that you guys really probably aren't going to know for a while. Mm-hmm. So we're really struggling with anticipating and trying to plan. So we've brainstormed a lot about the jobs that an RN has to do, the ones that they don't need to do, and who we could bring in and whatnot. And the bottom line is we had 4 RNs last year, and we're going to be down to 2. And we've looked at it every way, and we can't continue to do it like this without either hiring another person at some point or reducing our programs. So we're really in this sticky situation, and we want to have these conversations with you so you can understand where we are and what we need to do, because essentially you're our boss. So we're like, we can figure out what we need to do, but we want your input. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's a lot to understand the intricate workings of our health department. So however this needs to roll out, we're open to.
That's where we're kind of like we don't know exactly what you guys do. We're at a disadvantage that you guys do a lot that we're probably not even aware of, but yet we're supposed to fund things, you know, we're the money people. So like, that's one of the things that we struggle with is there's the requirement, the law mandates certain things be, you know, a county does this, sheriff's office does this, health department makes sure, you know, the dog bite thing, whatever, there has to be and so we're in the seat over here going, you know, like you pointed out in your letter, you know, there was just one person years ago and now there's 9. Some are grants, some are county funds, some are required to cover what the law wants. And so we really, you know, if we cut the hours, it's because we were just trying to make the budget work. And hopefully we didn't cut what was required or an area that you're now suffering to make up for what you're supposed to do, a duty versus maybe a non-mandated duty, you know. So we're really gonna need your help, Jen, to help figure it out because we don't know exactly what you do or what you don't have tools to do your required job with. So
I think that the direct impact of Peggy going down to 14 hours was this. She was able to do what was required and nothing above and beyond. So I think managing all of us efficiently was a struggle, and staying on top of budgets and those kinds of things. We have a really epic team, and so there's a lot of faith in us just getting our job done. And I think that's how we kind of had to operate this year. But she has 20 years of experience, and if I move into that role, I don't know what that looks like, but I don't, you know, and so it's really scary. So I really do feel like in order to be able to get those things done, there would need to be an increase in the director hours, the allocated director hours. My job this year has been 5 jobs, and it was a really tough year for me personally. I was walking out of St. Regis School yesterday going, oh, there's so much I didn't get to do this year. And it's just that's just how the year's been, I think, for everybody. And so, so where do we go from here? Where are you guys with the budget stuff? Are we thinking that we're going to be able to keep it the same, or is there going to be possibility of an increase or more cuts, or you have no idea?
We have no idea because we still have no idea. Health Secure Rural Schools, I mean.
the Trump administration has not decided.
I mean, it hasn't even been approved for, what is it, 16, 17 budget? So, yeah.
But yeah, we were hoping that the hard part of cuts were all done with last summer. And hopefully now we can just maintain and sustain, and hopefully the budgets will be something where maybe we can even give, you know, people a little bit of a raise if we can swing that. We did decide to do the health insurance.
Congratulations,
Because we know that's
that was
important.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was really great.
So right now we're just kind of stalling till we are gonna. I think we're gonna start. When do we start having our first budget hearings? Is that late June or is that not till?
I think it was June.
Yeah.
I thought Jessica told me late June they weren't, or even July.
Yeah.
So
should we be going through all of our budgets and pulling them together with a wish list in anticipation
Well,
of
I
those
think that's
things,
what you need to do,
Mhm.
you know, is everybody has a wish list, but whether it they come
Well,
through.
I think what we were planning on doing is only increasing. What I would like to do is take a look at all the budgets, and of course the grants are self-dictating.
Right.
The only one that I think you guys are worried about is general fund. And I would like to look at just increasing those hours to 24, because that's where I was back in 2014, 15. And that was doable. I mean, it was doable for me with experience, and I believe Jen could get there. You have to realize she's going to be down 2 nurses, and I am very willing to come in at any time and help her out. But I'll prepare that budget, and I will keep everything the same except for that increase in hours. You know, everything will be the same. I mean, except for one proposal.
What does it look like if the hours are not able to be increased? What does overtime look like? Is that built in? Because there will be times that, you know, you've been chugging through your week getting everything done, and the end of the week shows up and you have 2 communicable disease cases. Like this month, we had an incredible spike in communicable disease. I mean, we probably collectively spent over 40 hours between Barb, myself, Peg, and Ashley, just trying to knock those out. And that is a lot of time. So what do we do if we get to the end of the week and there's these diseases that we can't not take care of? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying, that's what I'm anticipating, is there needing to be a safety net of overtime
I know,
hours. And that's scary.
even think about our budget is like, you know, we've cut everything to the bone, and so what happens if something comes up, you know?
Well, right now, it's going to be, you can't get it done on 14 hours a
Right.
week. So I think what we're really looking at is, do we want to anticipate that overtime and figure it in our budget, or do we want to just go with regular hours? I don't know the comparison to do, but because communicable disease is very unpredictable. And there's going to be, quite honestly, I will tell you, she will have overtime on that.
Well, I think you build it into your budget and then see where we go from there.
So what I'll do is do the 24 hours, but I'd like to just maybe take a look at it with comparison with overtime, potential overtime, and what the cost comparison would be with the increase to 24 to the overtime possible. Because I really think you guys would be a lot better with just the regular hours built in, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
So what do you think we should do? What should we do? Bosses, what should we do?
Have you guys thought about like a public health levy? You know, this is the last year the hospital levy will be done. You know, I mean, that might be something, you know, because I think that the citizens of the county, public health is important to them, and, you know, it might be something to look into down the road or whatever as some
I
kind
don't
of
think we
a-
can get that accomplished
Not
before the
this,
budget.
no, not this
No.
year, but I mean, it's something that, you know, I mean, if the trend of secure rural schools and PILT and, you know,
Sure.
everything's the way things are going, that it might be something that you might have to look at in the future.
So I am a member of the executive board of the Montana Public Health Association. I'm the public health nurse section supervisor or leader, I guess. And I am in charge of planning the entire public health track at the conference that happens in September. And as the pre-conference topic, I've been promoting that they do a session on how to run a mill levy, and they're going to do it.
Oh.
And so it's available for anybody can come to that pre-conference, but they're going to do a little educational session on it, so we can even see what it looks like and how to do it.
Well,
those
and the
kinds of
money
things.
you need would be a lot less than most mill levies that are run, you know,
Yeah.
for hospitals or schools or, I mean, your mill levy would be small enough that people would go, oh, only $5 more on you know, or whatever it turns out to be, that it has a higher chance of being passed because it's not a large amount of money. I mean, all you guys really probably would need is an extra $75,000 to $100,000 or whatever you decided that, and it would be easier to manage your office with that little shot in the arm.
Definitely. Kind of makes my chest tighten a little bit thinking of when I would pull together a mill levy,
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh my gosh. But that's why I want to get educated on it, because it is a possibility. I know there are a few counties in Montana who have done it. I couldn't do it at 14 hours, that's for sure. I
Yeah.
don't know. Scary. It's super scary, if I'm being really honest. You know, it's just this is a tricky place to be, and we're just trying to throw all the cards up and figure out: do we want to continue with the health department? Do we want to continue with operations as is? How can we do it? Because something has to give. You can only do so much, you know. So it's just a tricky spot.
I know.
Well, you know, if we do get PILT, which would be great, because that really helps us out with because PILT money is money that we can move around. It's not necessarily earmarked, like the SRS money is just for the road department. We can't slide that anybody's way. But the PILT money really helps us out paying other obligations we have. So if that comes through, then of course in July the state will assess what our quote mill is worth. And you know, if it's worth more, then we'll have a little bit more revenue from the property taxes the state collects for us. So we'll just have to see what, because you're talking an extra 10 hours a week, and that's what, so 520 hours more a year. And so I mean, we'll have to see, but I mean, it's totally doable if things fall in our favor, you know.
Tricky.
Yeah.
So what's the timeline? We start talking about budgets at the end of June. When are they finalized? What's the timeline for all this?
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy system because one, the fiscal year is July 1 to July 1.
Right.
We never get the evaluations I was just referring to until July. So we have to have our budget, the requirement is into the state, sent in and done by October 1. Even though that's when the federal budget begins, October to October.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we start working on it, and then we're kind of retroactively trying to cover July and August because we don't normally get it all finalized and done until, and if you're after October 1, they give you a little bit of a slap on the hand or a little fine, but that's the target time to have it all wrapped up and in by October 1 or sooner if we can.
Well, what I'm anticipating is we're going to probably need to hire another nurse, regardless of whether or not the director hours increase. But it will be toward the end of the summer, and initially I think they won't be at the hour requirement where they'll need benefits. But we anticipate other programs that we're running opening up sometime this fiscal year, and so that person would probably take on that, and it would just change, but. Put that somewhere in
So it'd be
your
sort of a
brain.
part-time nurse.
It'd be a part-time nurse to start. If we can find someone who's, willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many jobs for 2 nurses right now.
With the schools and.
Yep.
And the other tricky thing you guys have to keep in mind, because it restricts us on our ability to address the immunization needs and the communicable disease portion that we do, because we have no money that directly supports those two public health services. So with the grants that we hired these other people under, they're performing under the grant recommendations of what they need to do, and they don't allow for expenses to go towards other things. So we have to be really very careful on how we cross over that. So, I mean, even though we get new grants in or we hire someone under a grant, doesn't always mean it's good in addressing those 2 other needs, because they're so restrictive in how we can use the monies.
That makes sense. Scary.
So the school nurse, you get money from the schools for that?
Yes.
Contract. Yeah.
Kind of like we do with this town about.
Well, and just reading to you, we have the maternal child health grant, we have the public health emergency grant, Best Beginnings grant, tobacco grant, WIC, immunization grant, the home visiting grant, public health system improvement grant, and these all go for specific needs, but we have a lot of grants that we have to manage, and then not only that, but manage our time. That's why when you see all of the different time cards we have coming in, we separate them out, because that way we know where our hours are going to which grant.
Which fund number? And
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenn had like 4.
It's crazy.
5? Okay.
Yeah, so, and I understand the position you're in, but I'm telling you, it's going to be an interesting year this year for the health department. So, and as I told Jenn, I would be willing to help in any way I can to continue, because really, I mean, I think our health department is probably number one in the state compared to other frontier health departments. I really do. I would put us up against any of them, even some of the larger ones. So, and I would hate to see that go away or decrease in any type of public health service, because that in the end is going to really hurt our population. You know, it really is. So, enough said. I know. Budgets are budgets.
So my only follow-up question here is, should we plan on meeting with one or more of you guys on a more regular basis? Do you have a desire to understand the inner workings of our health department? It's okay to say no here. I'm just trying to figure out how to make you comfortable and us to get the guidance we need. You know what I mean?
What, I was just thinking about that when we were talking before, because tomorrow's a short agenda. Are you around tomorrow afternoon down there? Come see you in your digs? Or are you gonna be away?
I'm going to Alberton and St. Regis schools in the morning to wrap it up, and then I'm meeting with the county attorney to do the dog bite policy. So possibly,
Okay.
I don't know when or what
Well,
time, but.
yeah. So maybe when you're done at the county attorney's, pop in, and
Okay,
me or Lori or board, one or both of us will run down
okay.
and powwow with you down there. And
Sure.
But then also we'll be doing little sign-up times in June for everybody to come by and visit with all three about your proposed budget, you know,
Okay.
and the wish list and the needs that you have.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing that with everybody till we finalize them in July or August. But yeah, like
I think in the meantime, I mean, this is going to be kind of awkward. I'm proposing her as taking over that position, but she hasn't officially done that. Or I don't know what that's going to look like for you guys. You know, when would you like that?
well, now that we have your letter, we probably can get.
Okay.
I mean, even though there's probably somebody waiting in the wings, we still would have to advertise just
Sure.
so that people don't go,
Okay.
oh, gee, I'm a da-da-da, and I didn't even know about that. But I mean, so we'll probably have to get,
But we could just do it internally first. I mean,
Okay.
you know, just advertise internally.
yeah, in-house advertisement.
And so what you're telling me, that you'll have to do it in-house and advertise abroad?
I think we can just do
abroad?
it in-house
Okay.
first, can't we?
But we'll have to advertise it in the paper as well after that. We run it in-house for 5
In-house,
days.
right. And if we don't have any qualified applicants, then we go outside. But if we have qualified
Okay.
in-house, then.
Because I don't want to unload too much on her until we know, because.
But maybe you might want to help Casey with the language of
Sure,
how the ad should go
Sure.
in-house or otherwise, so that.
yeah, well, yeah.
Because there's going to be requirements.
I think there's a job description that we approved and wrote up for my position. It should be, you guys should have a copy of that, if not, I do. And the only thing you have to be specific about is, I think this job position has to be an RN with a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
So, and I can help you with and then off of that job description should pretty much give you the idea of qualifications. The only other one I know of that would be qualified would be Barb, and she says no way. So are we done with that piece, do you think? So now I want to talk about raises for 2 employees. One we had discussed last year. The other one is a newly proposed one. And the pay increase for one of the employees, who I feel is really highly qualified and deserves to be compensated for her role as a public health nurse, and with all of the different things that she supplies for our community, the great work that she's done. She's worked for us for 10 years. Her duties are going to increase next year in my absence, and she'll be doing more to help compensate. And not only that, but she's very willing to step in and help us out at any point. And that's Barb Jasper she works, most of her hours comes from the school nursing contracts and tobacco. And so I would really like to suggest we increase her from $26.14 an hour to $27.75 an hour. And the reason why is because I want to make sure we keep her here, to be able to, for the next director to have to train for that position for a newly hired person if Barb decides to leave would probably cost you a lot in time and management, which we don't have in the director position hours right now. So you know what it was like when you started and you had 2 experienced nurses helping you out with the schools, the WIC grant, the maternal child health grant, and the immunization grant. What other grant are you working on? But without that experience, it's gonna look at more time for the next director to be able to manage that. And the fact that I've talked with Scott Kinney at the school, and he's willing to compensate for her hours, the increase of her salaries. So, and she does, like I said, work on the tobacco grant too.
And that would be covered under the tobacco grant, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean,
And really to retain someone with Barb's experience, she's been a nurse for 24, I mean, you got to compare oranges with oranges when you're looking at increases in salaries. So when I talk about an RN, how much easier is it to get an RN to apply for that position than it would be a common person, one without a degree? The nursing, right now, there's a nursing shortage, and you always hear about that, but I think it's getting more and more difficult. So my concern would be if this happened and we're stuck with having to hire a new nurse for that position, would we even be able to do that in the first place? And you can certainly talk with Scott Kinney, and he would tell you the great job that Barb is currently doing over there. I can tell you the programs that I had initiated over there, she has taken it up to the next level. It is beyond comprehension what she's doing as far as the level of work to the schools. And not only that, but I feel in our community, having a nurse like that in the schools is really important, especially with our high-risk kids and families. So it's so beneficial all the way around. So the only thing about this is that I would have to have a decision on this before next week, because they need to propose that to their Board of Health, a new contract that I would write up. School board, sorry. So Scott has requested.
When do they do the contract? When's the last date that they can do that for you?
I think he has a meeting, I want to say before the end of June. So he would need that information for the approval for the next school year. And if you guys need additional information on that, I'd be happy. I can give you right now what the.
Do you have a question?
I was just wondering if it was for the next school year, then can they wait till July with that school board decision?
I can ask Scott, but I think he's operating on a budget too.
Mm-hmm.
So he indicated to me he needed to know that sooner than later so they can finalize their budget. And I think he's meeting with the school board to finalize that this month.
So
that's-
he probably have the budget done by June and then ready for presentation that first meeting in July, that first.
No, it's in June. He told me he needs that.
Oh,
I wish I would have gotten the date, and I he just said the meeting's going to be held in June. I can certainly
Oh.
ask him the date of that and send
Don't
the
they usually
meeting.
meet like the second Tuesday or something?
I
like
was
that?
thinking
Something like that.
The second Monday.
On Monday.
So that would be June 13th then.
So he would
Or
need that
12th, I mean.
information. I mean, he would need that contract in hand for that meeting,
So the tobacco grant would cover tobacco part of it.
tobacco part.
And then it would just cover her portion from the superior schools.
Yes,
So then the rest of it would come out of where?
general fund.
For
But
summer hours,
summer hours would,
is
but
that what you're asking?
Yeah, we're trying to get the proportion of hours.
Right.
It's not
So-
covered.
So
Yep.
she has 40 hours of coverage through the whole school year, through the school contract and
Okay.
tobacco. And then in the summertime, she just has tobacco coverage.
For-
And so then the general fund picks up her school hours for those summer weeks. Because the school doesn't reimburse for the summer work where we're not working.
So you're saying for approximately 3 months, about 20 hours a week would be covered by us?
She's 28 hours right now.
mhm.
Okay.
But we also, you need to look at this too. This is a breakdown of the contract, current contract rates and how much we make off of these contracts. And I provided that to Jessica too.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to change this travel, it's 53.5.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Okay, so that must have changed since the last time I created this. Okay. Well, that's okay because contracts went out. Cool. And those, so when you're looking at the, this reflects the current contract increases of 3% that I always add to those contracts every year to compensate for any raises that we have. So with Barb's, because it'll exceed a little bit, that dollar amount will go to 0 for Superior, but you still are, we're still doing some good, so. And it's really, and when I look at it, you know, you look at, and I know I really do look at money and whether or not the best way to spend that would be the best for the county. And looking at this, when we look at the increases, the salaries for Barb, the increase in her salary versus the minimal time that you guys compensate with the extra excess there, I think it's going to be pretty minimal what you're paying. And I can do a breakdown for you on that, so you get an idea of what the summer months look like and the cost after we reflect the increases here. Would that be helpful for you? Because it would be minimal. I mean, I'm thinking maybe, and this is off the top of my head, $4,000 increase.
Mhm.
Huh? And really, to keep an experienced nurse and the headache of having to replace that position, 4,000 is nothing.
Barb is phenomenal. She's really phenomenal.
And you had a second employee.
Oh, well, that's the one we talked about earlier, Laura.
Laura.
Remember?
Yeah.
You said to come back to you and that we would go ahead and increase her to from 15 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
So-
out of a grant.
And
That's
it's totally out of a
grant.
grant. There's no expense to you guys
So
whatsoever.
since we delayed it because we had a freeze last year, is the grant still at that amount of 17, or did it go up since we've been delayed?
I'm gonna let her
time?
address that because that's the grant she works on.
Okay,
17 is covered.
okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't have another built-in one since the time we last spoke, that now it's 1750 or something. You know, because we delayed
Yeah.
last year because we had a freeze. And
So
so,
what I did when I built the budget for this year is
Mhm.
I kept her at the rate of 15 per hour from January 1st until June 30th, and then I built in the $17 increase.
for
from
the next
July.
increment that
July
was gonna happen.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay,
So
that's all.
I prepared for it.
Okay, I was just
Mhm.
making sure she wasn't missing out on another increment in there.
No, it's all in there.
Okay.
So do we need to prove that? So that come July 1st that,
Well, the only thing is we gotta wait probably for Dwayne to see what we're doing with, you know, is he saying that we're gonna do a freeze again, or are we not gonna do that?
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Because that kind of depends on what we do overall, sort of. I don't think we're gonna do anything drastic, but I don't know if we can put the cart before the horse until we decide that one.
I guess that's something we can ask Ellen.
Mhm. When do you need to know on that one, Jen?
Because it's covered by a grant.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, ideally, we would know by the time July 1st rolls around, so
Okay.
her paycheck could just
So,
change, her rate of
yeah.
pay could change. But if it were later, then you could back there,
Retro.
you know,
Right.
if you needed to
Oh, I
or
don't think we'll
something
go
like
till
that.
July 1, but I just thought maybe better.
Yeah.
I'll decide what we're gonna try to do this year.
When does the salary board meet?
I don't, is the salary compensation board meeting, or did,
Yes. On June 20th.
okay.
So we'll know by June 20th of
Mhm.
kind of what the salary compensation board decides, so. If we're freezing, or if we're gonna try to do some raises or whatever, depending on.
There's a salary board comprised of some residents of the county and some officials in the courthouse, and they decide what's, they recommend to us what should occur in terms of raise or staying pat or all that stuff, so. We probably should wait for their recommendation before we unilaterally today make a decision.
Make a decision.
So how does that work in a grant situation?
Yeah.
Because then we'll
So that's
end up
what we
with
thought we'd ask
extra-
Ellen, because it's not gonna be anything out
Right.
of our amount of money, but, and last year we had a problem because it was gonna be a
It-
mid-year,
Right, it was in
Yeah.
the
it'd be a
middle of the
mid-year
year.
bump in the year of a freeze, so that's kind of why
Right.
Yeah,
we're kind of advised not to do anything.
but I would think in the instance of a grant,
Mhm.
And a
What-
school contract,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
so.
So moving forward,
And-
you'll talk to Ellen about it and talk to Dwayne.
Yeah, on June 20th, we'll be able to tell you probably,
Okay.
for sure on Laura Acker, positively.
Okay. So your people will be in touch with our people?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And if we forget, remind us.
That's our people over
Okay,
there.
I know.
Yeah.
And so then Peg's gonna find out from Mr. Kinney about the final date to know about
Okay.
Barb's stuff, is that right? I'm just trying to figure out what our action steps are. 'Cause
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, and then tomorrow, if you remember, when you're done with the county attorney, swing by and
Mm-hmm.
we follow you down to the health department.
Yeah, site visit, it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So how's the application process for April?
We had 2 apply, and I anticipate maybe doing interviews next week, possibly the week after. I don't know. It's just been so crazy. So
Let me know.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, perfect. That'd be great.
Yeah. I
It's
think
probably going to be
Wednesday
next
we
time
have-
sometime.
I think we have commissioners Wednesday, and then I have meeting in Missoula Thursday, and then we have district meeting.
Oh, yeah. We're moving our next Friday meeting to Wednesday because we have a county district 10 meeting in Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
So we'll all be gone on Friday, so we're gonna have it be June 7th.
So I'm wondering if we could do it Tuesday morning or something.
I can do it. I've got a coalition meeting from 9 to 11. but it
On
kinda-
Tuesday morning?
After that, I'm
What
good.
does Monday look like? How about the next week?
Yeah, next, yeah. But if, yeah, do schedule whatever's good for you, and if I can make it, I'll make it.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
If not, maybe Casey will sit in.
Okay, cool, we could do that.
Yeah, I'd like to have Casey sit in as our
Alright.
HR person.
Mhm.
So what information can we pull together about our inner workings and operations for you to have a better understanding?
I guess what you think, for me anyway, what the general fund money we give you, what primarily that's used for versus, the grant money.
Okay.
Might be helpful to know what we're.
I'll print out all our budgets and have you just take a look at that and what it goes for.
Mhm.
That will be helpful to look
Yeah.
at that,
Mhm.
kind of and have me explain,
Mhm.
or Jen, or whoever, me.
Mhm.
I'll be there. So you know how we divide the dollars up and what that looks
Mhm.
like?
Yeah.
Sure. And what portions are paid for and what aren't for general fund?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for anything that we talked about today? Hard questions, but we just have to
Yeah.
have the conversations.
Well, I guess,
It's a lot.
Jen, if we were able to swing your hours more, then what would that detract you from, how would your day look now with 2 more hours a day as if you got the director position?
Mhm.
So what would be lacking on the other end, if you will?
Mhm.
How would a day in the life of Jenn Donovan look if you had that to do and the other things?
In
Oh,
the
that's a
summer,
good question,
it is
yeah.
a good
Mhm.
question. In the summer, it's going to look fine because I won't be at the schools
Mhm.
for 16 hours. So that will be okay. What it looks like beyond that
Mhm.
is really overwhelming, but I'll put that together
Uh-huh.
for you.
And you don't, you can just
Yeah.
let me know. You don't have to give me a fancy report that you
Okay.
bust your butt on necessarily, just kind of food for thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you move into the director position with increased hours, and then you would hire somebody else or
Mhm.
another person, what would their job description be? And could it, I'm trying to think if,
Believe me, we do this all the time.
Right.
This is juggling of hours, and
Right.
it's so complicated. I've done it for 20 years, and it's like, how many hours can I take out of this grant to fulfill an X amount of hours for a position? And we
Mhm.
can do that for you. It's just complicated right now
Right,
because we're
yeah.
all kind of sitting up in the air, and we know we need, like we have that one position for the PAT program right now. We potentially in the future may be looking at a new emergency preparedness position. I mean, you're looking at multiple different grant sources that we pull in order to create a position. And you know that when you do that, it makes it difficult for that person because you're training for multiple
Mhm.
positions. And it's complicated because that's the only way we can gather our hours to make it cost effective to build one position. And if we can do that with an RN, if you give the 24 hours, I'm pretty sure we can manipulate some of the relieve Jenn, and we'll sit down and talk and show you guys where we can pull extra hours from different positions that are already there to help support another RN position. I mean, we can do it, but this is the first time in years that the director position has dropped to 14 hours a week. So that makes it really hard in trying to figure out other sources for another. And it's good to have another RN in position because they can help supplement with the immunizations and the disease investigation process, dog bites, when the other two are not available. And and the position that they're going to be in right now with 2 RNs and they're working schools, then who's going to pick up the immunizations and the communicable disease piece? Do you see how complicated that gets? And it fluctuates during different times of years, during the school year. I don't know how those two are going to do it. I don't know. Because you got to have someone there in the office to cover those. But I'll map it out for you guys. You guys can look at the juggling act that we do and some potential things that we can look at to, with the 24-hour, what it's going to look at like with 24 hours a week, what it's going to look at the current situation. Because you need to see the difference of that. And I think it'll be easier for you guys to kind of look at when you look at all of our budgets and where our resources go and what they go for. And then when we drop it down and show you what we're actually doing. So, does that help? Okay.
Well, thanks for an hour of your time.
Yeah.
Well.
Nothing like starting the day off with a full brain.
So what I will do is have that conversation with Scott. And you said the 26th?
20th of June.
Oh, 20th of June?
Compensation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if that's possible, and if not, I will shoot you an email and let you know.
Okay.
And then we have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If anything else comes up that might be helpful, let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, I guess we'll go reverse clockwise. We'll
All right.
see what Emily has new to share with everybody today.
I have nothing new to share.
Nothing new?
All right, moving right along. It's going to be a quick meeting. Thank you.
Okay, well, I have to pry. How about any news from MSU on any of the? Everybody knows Kevin retired.
Yeah.
He on the payroll still burning sick leave and vacation or whatever. But when do we come up with? And we're gonna have a party for him.
Last day was yesterday. 23rd is his potluck party here. And officially July 31st is his last day with MSU.
Oh, yeah, so June 23rd, we'll have a little potluck lunch here. Did we set the hours yet, Emily? Is it gonna be 11:30 to 1 or something like that?
I believe it's 11 to 1.
11 to 1. It'll be kind of an extended one because he was here a long time, so.
What day are we doing?
Yeah, and then we also
Oh.
had a,
25.
oh, we can ask
Oh,
her later, I
okay.
guess, call her. Didn't-
Friday?
Yeah. Or it's-
We will
Yeah,
have it
it'll be a combined.
Oh,
combined
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a, Peggy Stevens is also retiring from the health department, so,
On the 23rd?
So we're just gonna have it be a combined,
yeah, her as of June 30th.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Should my last day be June 30th or July 1st?
So in case
Well, maybe we'll have a three-way.
Wow.
Oh, we can still
Party.
Are
celebrate
you
your thing.
guys offering
For the entire year
something, some
long?
incentive?
Yeah,
Retire.
Early out bonus.
Oh, do you want, are we, regarding the potluck thing, are you the one like, I'm bringing the pea salad, or are we doing alphabetical, or what's your,
Well, Emily was kind of in charge of that, but maybe we'll have to,
oh, okay,
we'll get together, we'll make a plan.
Yeah, sign up sheet or something.
Yeah.
Sign up sheet.
okay.
I'll just list what I like. Make sure everybody brings it. This is what I want everybody to bring.
But Emily, no news from Bozeman on any other shuffling?
As far as I know, everything is okay.
Okay.
Everything's in the works. I did a background check for them, and so.
And you passed? Did they know you're from St. Regis?
I must have passed. It's been some years. So yeah, but as far as other paperwork and stuff, we're just kind of waiting on that. So.
Okay. That's my term of endearment, because I'm from Alberton. Tommy knows we all ganged up on St. Regis when we could.
We never did.
Huh?
We ganged up on Albert.
Well, that's true. We were
that.
yeah.
St. Regis was really the big rival for us, really,
Yeah.
back in the day.
Dwayne, I would have to tease him because he's from St. Regis. And Jessica. So it means nothing. It's just kind of a little Sin City joke from high school. So.
Sun City.
Sin City.
Okay, Kathleen, what do you know? You're next.
She must have.
I got a ton of work to
You
do.
gotta get back on the phone. I got somebody to call. Maybe I should have gone that way.
No. Oh, well, yeah.
I'm putting in retirement potluck. Let's see.
You're gonna retire?
Well, I was wondering, that's why I wanted to know if they were doing an incentive.
Well, I'm sure they do something special for you.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, were you out on that stop this morning?
Which one?
First thing this morning?
Looked like a couple cars as we came in,
Yeah.
highway patrol. Was it drugs?
Oh.
No, I saw a trunk open, so that's
Felony?
immediately where I went.
It's none of your business.
It will be if I'm
Yeah.
firing something.
We figured if you were out there that early, you were grumpy.
There's somebody that needed a ticket.
Slow down? Oh.
Oh.
Oh, good, okay. I
Just
had
a
this whole
felony.
big thing in my head of what it was.
Just a felony? No felony?
No.
We called off a jury. We are calling our new panel. We are getting ready to call another jury for another trial. It's going to be a busy summer. We have 5 trials set for this summer.
Are these criminal or civil?
Both. We'll see what happens. I don't even have a guess on how they're gonna go.
Well, they'll
So.
clean them out.
I hope so. It's hot up there.
Yeah,
It's a-
Oh, boy.
yeah, so.
Well, that's it, huh? Ellen, do you want to go next if you have business?
Oh, no, I want to hear everybody. I always like to. I just want to move it along. I like to hear what everybody's doing.
Candelibra.
I don't have anything. Ellen scared me so
Oh, I scared you more than Tim. Tim
So
scares
you want to do a
everybody.
long-winded Tim?
Oh, man.
right on.
He's back there drawing.
Looks like you need
Hurry,
more
I
prep
don't wanna-
time.
No.
She needs to go to the LAPC meeting then. George rolling.
Yeah.
May I grab that for a minute? I don't think I've signed that yet, thank you.
George can spin a yarn when he wants to, can't he?
Who, me? I haven't been around long enough to know any good yarns.
Yo, Tim.
Actually, I've been around so long I forgot them all.
Oh.
Well, Candace
Well, it got
referred
to
to
me
you.
and I.
Yeah, so Tim needs to,
You've heard of the beauty, then the beast?
He's compassing.
It's very busy.
So the DEQ is up Flat Creek, stirring up the locals, keeping them all on tents and edge and all of that. I don't know if you could say there's any kind of percentage of what they're done up there, but if you're starting at the top and you're working your way down and you have more than a mile, they're not much more than a half mile of area that's just ripped to shreds and smithereens and stuff, so you can't get up there, it's all blocked off, it's nice, but they are coming up with more tailings than, so they're really trying to do measurements and compaction at the same time as they're removing so that they can see if they can able to fit all the stuff by the creek into the hole and stuff. So Jensen's ought to be happy, they've taken the mountainside and moved it from St. Regis to in here, so paying them for that. 14 sewer permits so far. I have another 12 pending, so it's gonna be a rip skip year, I think, this summer for sewer permits and stuff. Albert's has taken off West Mountain Estates, and then just kinda here, there, and all over the place and stuff, and mountaintops and mountainsides and mountain hideaways and everything, so the 3 pieces of Plum Creek have sold out in the quartz area, and there's another pending, so that would be a full section that would be sold off to people, so get ready for the next big rabble rouse. Here we come, because the access is blocked off, that, they're leaving some interior island pieces that are gonna be a real mess, because people will wanna get to these. I see the name on Plum Creek properties is now shows up as Weyerhaeuser, so that's kind of interesting. Department of Revenue said something, I guess, somewhere, but there was no deeds that transferred, so. Anyway, coming to a local commissioner store near you, the newest complaints, so. We straightened out the state line in our minds, not maybe the minds of anybody else, but haven't really heard anything back, but the Bureau of Land Management agreed with my runoff pictures that when it runs down this side, drives into Montana, it should be on the Montana side. So they wrote an official opinion, looked at all the railroad plans, highway plans, any kind of plans, and it's like, and then the biggest determinant is that you cannot modify state land by land modification. You can go down 200 feet and it's still where it was in the beginning. So that's maybe hopefully good news if we get a couple buildings assessed in there. And for me, hopefully it's going to take some time off of my schedule, because then they won't be talking to me about it as much. So he was real pleased about it. Got the flea circus over with. Only had to beat up on one guy out there. I intimidated the Gold Creek people to comply this year. They didn't even try to obfuse and obfuscate and things, so that was kind of nice.
Gold Creek people.
There's a Amish outfit out of that. They got kicked out of the. Not get kicked out. They wisely left the Mission Valley after their chickens poisoned 25 people through salmonella backdraft of the water system. It was really kind of cool. And they thought they were going to get their hides sewed into oblivion, so they all piled it down to Gold Creek. And it seems that nobody knows where they are down there. But they keep showing up with these products that are labeled Gold Creek. And I talked to the sanitarian in Anaconda Deer Lodge, and they have no knowledge of those people down there. They do not exist. And I said, they do exist. I can show you hundreds of jars of product that they exist with. So, but
Also, that Gold Creek down that way, okay.
that Gold Creek. So I don't think I want to go search them out. That's another county. Not mine. So I heard something like a mud bogging thing, and then the newest is, get ready for this one.
pirate party.
Oh,
Computer driving me nuts. There's probably a better picture, I don't know if there's a better picture of this one, but anyway, this is the one, Pirate Party at Ogden, Montana, Weehaw. And there's a big bunch of groups up there. that are
Wow.
gonna be,
I don't recognize a single name.
on tap and stuff. And we will have more alternative drug salesmen up there than you can possibly shake a stick at.
When is this?
For law enforcement to work with and stuff. They are
How do you
coming
know
out of
that, Tim?
California, Colorado.
I'd like to know that intel.
But
How do you know that?
When is it?
Just probably the
because
types of
when
bands.
the guys can't even figure out who they should put down on an application and know what they're talking about and everything else, and I communicate 5-6 times with them in emails and talk to them, and it's like, those guys do it, they gotta be sitting there smoking and trying to figure something out.
Yeah, that's
so.
not true. That doesn't mean they're druggies.
When is it, Tim?
Yeah, I moved the date,
When?
July,
Well, we know it's 2017.
July 21st, and
Where is that?
Huh.
Yeah, honest to God, I don't recognize one.
Buy a ticket, maybe it'll tell you.
Hadn't heard about that one.
Pirates.
they got, last year's videos are really cool, but.
Did they call it something else last year, Tim?
No, it was down at Lowell and Missoula kicked them out.
Oh.
Oh,
They said, don't ever show up in our county again somehow, somewhere.
So the one we were thinking of is that one that was the Shine or whatever.
Last year they did
Yeah,
Silver Clouds. Huh?
yeah. What last year at Hagen they did that psychedelic weekend band thing.
That's the Silver Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Silver
So are they gonna do that one and this one?
No,
or?
no, this is the newer replacement.
Okay.
And yeah, you
So
watched
they
the
probably
video
are
for
into
the
drugs.
Pirate Party last year, and it's.
You said
I think
July
that
21?
Last year was probably pretty tame.
July 21 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, huh?
I think so.
It has been tame, but who knows?
Pirate Party.
Pirate Party.
And furthermore,
Debate. Got another big project going, but I'm not sure whether I want to divulge that project right at this
oh, you
time.
started to say mud bog. That's still on track for all those plans?
I guess, I don't, probably Tom knows more than I do about mud bog. I haven't got a single concession thing. I have not received any information, anything. And there seems to be some question about how they serve it in liquor out there.
They're asking for a signature so they can.
They don't want you to know about it.
Well, they don't have to ask him.
No, I mean for food and stuff.
Yeah, about food. I would imagine they'd have something, but I don't know.
The Gold Creek chicken.
I had a couple inquiries about months ago, but they stopped and they're all converting to the Pirate Party. Other than that, the EPA is ramping up on Smurfit Stone and putting their information together for that, and so we're going to try to pay attention to that and see if we can get a little more downstream monitoring on that part of the world and stuff. So that would be a benefit. That's all I have.
All right. Sheriff Bauer.
Yeah, I mean, nothing you just really want to hear about, nothing suicide that was ugly, but we won't talk about that. Ellen and I have been talking a little bit about, we want to get the 24/7 program up and running again. As you guys know from before, it doesn't cost the county a thing, it self-sustains itself, so someone gets a DUI and they have to be monitored, so you put them on this 24/7 and they come in twice a day to blow in the PBT. So every time they blow, it costs them $2. That money then in turn pays for the tubes for the PBT. So that's the only cost of doing it. So it doesn't cost the county anything, and it's something that we've missed, that we both think it's very important to get going again, because there's definitely some people with DUIs out there that aren't being monitored. And for that reason, we think it's a good idea to get running again.
And I didn't realize we didn't have it, and I'm sending out an email saying, okay, well, we'll get this guy on 24/7, and I get an email back from Sheriff Bauer saying, we don't have that anymore, right? And so we met, and I said, it's important for especially second, third DUIs, because we do see a lot of those, or we do see enough that I think it's important to have them in some way checking in. First DUIs, we won't necessarily do that, but the judge could order it on aggravated DUIs. It's an option if scram for some reason isn't possible, but when we're looking at third DUIs, fourth DUIs even, we need to be making sure that they're not. I'm sure as soon as they leave at the nighttime, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there might be people who, after they blow at the nighttime, go and have a couple beers, but I think it's a great way to monitor that they don't get to the point where they could endanger somebody if they get behind the wheel.
Well,
So-
and like I said, right now, there's nothing
Right.
for that, unless
Yeah.
they're put on some kind of patch or something. So it's just another good option for us.
And we talked about, the personnel that would be needed, and Sheriff Bauer and Under Sheriff Boone, the three of us had met, feels like that's something that detention can do. It's not going to add a lot to their workload, and
That's how we did it before.
yeah, so we don't have to hire anybody. Anybody extra. It's just going to be the current staff we have, and so hopefully that'll work out.
But we thought for sure we should at least mention
Just
it.
let the departments and the
Yeah.
commissioners know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a form of probation, which misdemeanor we don't have.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. And the only thing I got to say is, just 101 days of summer, that's the most deadly time of the year, just because there's so many other people out there. And really what it boils down to, and I tell a lot of people this, they'll ask me, what should I do different? I said, what, just use common sense. Analyze things, kind of do a risk assessment before you do it. Put it on a pendulum. Is it worth it? Pluses and minuses. So I know Dale does, I'm not sure who all does. We do quarterly letters for the city superior. And, since I started, I've done 101 days of summers in the last 3 years. And that's why, just because it's a really good message for everybody to hear, on safety and what you should be aware of and doing in the summer to stay safe. And like I said, to me, most of it boils down to common sense and just kind of doing your own risk assessment, And a lot of things that people ignore in the summertime is your vehicles. You tend to pay more attention to it during the winter months because of survival. If you get stuck in the snow, you could die because of exposure. Well, it's really no different in the summer. And it should be paid attention, I think, more in the summer because there's more people traveling. You should have your vehicle checked, tires, your fluids, everything to make sure it's good, proper order, if you're going on a trip. So,
Heat kills them worse than the cold. I saw on the freeway yesterday coming back from Missoula, there were 3 with their hood up,
Yeah.
people crawling around in them.
yep, a lot of them. Yep.
And they were probably all new rigs than the one you were driving.
Oh, they were all newer. Everything is newer than what I drive.
Your 88 Dodge still going to Missoula. I'm teasing you because I drive old rigs too, George.
It's an 84 Ford.
Oh, 84 Ford. You used to have a Dodge, didn't you?
Yeah.
It died.
Yeah.
No, actually, I sold it, and I think it's still running somewhere. I just kind of keep them going. They do me good. I do have one that's just so new I can't get along with it. It's an 02.
You can't work on them.
Yeah.
That's
And have a computer degree to work on your car. All right, so nothing else? Everything's normal, huh?
Busy, real busy. Dale, he had a stat here. We were just talking about the number of citations we've written compared to last year. Last year at this time, it was 725, and we're over 1,000 right now. So,
Really?
That's all of them. That's not all felonies, or it's misdemeanors and felonies.
Yeah, but
so
still, that's
But that's been the trend.
That's thought I told you to stop doing
busier
that.
and busier. Well, you know,
Stop writing
You guys are mean.
citations.
it's just gonna get busier.
We can
And
handle it.
we're still looking at, and I hope that happens within a year, a dog, narcotics canine.
Yeah.
We just got some money from a forfeiture, so I think we can justify it. Especially, you know, when I was handling that narcotics canine in the 90s here, we were able to buy 3 brand new patrol cars, fully outfitted, every year from seizure money from the dog. So it's a lot busier now than it was then. I know there's a lot of dope going down that highway every day and a lot of money. You know, if we were able to tap into that, and it'd help us all out, you know. So I'm seriously going to consider and look at that and hopefully have that dog up and running for this time next year.
So, all those vehicles out at the thingy, are we working to get those cases closed up so we can do something with those
Yep.
vehicles out there?
Absolutely.
Well, this was asking me, they said, that one little car way over in the corner by itself, what's the deal? Been there forever, hasn't it?
You know, when that thing was picked up, the former county attorney had her eyes on it and wanted it, and
Oh.
of course that didn't happen, and it's gone. But no, that is something that's been on my radar, Lori, is going through those and doing a share sale, and what we don't sell. I know that we can probably make an offer to one of the local guys and get them into Missoula for scrap, you know, and so but definitely want to do that. I mean, my goal last year was to get them from up
Right.
there,
They're out
down
there
there,
now, but if we could,
and now I want to go to that next step and do a share sale. And you know, there's our evidence room. If I took you in there, there's stuff in there that we need to do that too. Go through everything that's adjudicated so we can get rid of guns and
Stuff from
drugs.
Wade Van Gilder was sheriff.
yeah, literally. I mean, there's stuff in there that's been in there since its inception.
Mhm.
So it needs to happen too. Time
That's
It's-
the problem, yeah.
is, and Ellen's doing fabulous, and she's still trying to get caught up. So to do that is just going to
right.
double her workload, and we don't
I can
want
handle it.
We don't want to kill her the first year she's here.
Yeah, let's wait for
We've got
a
a
year
great,
too.
we've got a great county attorney. We'd like to see her stick around.
Yep.
All right. Maintenance man Joel.
What do you want to know?
Anything you like to
Anything more
share?
exciting?
Both those chairs.
Thanks for a chair there. You held me up. Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
anything you want to
I
ask,
just,
share, tell all the
just-
directors?
A lot of work, a lot of duct tape and baling wire. Trying to keep things going together and catching mice in Ellen's car.
2 in my car.
Been paying a lot of attention to the maintenance budget since I've been here about 9 months, and checking all the suppliers for service and crunching numbers with them, and getting some new costs. Brought the cost down on quite a few of the service companies, helping the budget out a little bit, helping the taxpayers, and that's about it, really. You know, and it's never a dull moment. I can guarantee you that. Anybody's got any questions?
As it continues to get hot, you got air conditioners, any requests? You just know how to get a hold of Joel when you need something?
They're all in.
They're all in, okay.
We didn't even have to ask him. I came to work
No,
on
me
Monday,
too.
and they're all there. It's like, good job, Joel.
Dude, man, you guys, it's hot.
Yeah, and he started up
Get
on
hot.
3rd, which was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very nice.
That's
He
the
does
easy
not
part.
wanna
That's the
see
easy
us
part of the job.
Yes,
Hey,
It was self-preservation.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Kathleen keeps me in line.
See, we had to get Kathleen's air conditioner at first, because when she's hot, if there's no air conditioning, she just defers to gin and tonics to keep herself cool.
Ooh,
That's an option?
we needed to try that.
I can tell how her day's going when she doesn't snarl at me when I walk by.
Speaking of that,
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Tendencies.
the bathroom in the jury room, can we get rid of all that junk, all the paper, the paintbrushes, the,
Yes.
all that
Done,
stuff.
Done.
Thank you.
done,
Yeah, before you have a jury in there.
Yeah.
done. Let's see, I won't be here on the 3rd of July. So Sherry will be closing that day unless a backup has been brought on. The commissioners are trying to feverishly find a backup for me when I'm not here, if I want to take a vacation or if I'm ill or something, so that poor Lori doesn't have to come down here and hold the fort, which I appreciate very much.
Yeah, anytime
She
that you
takes
can't
care
get a
of me.
hold of Joel, call me and, because I'm the closest, and I'll try to address it, but
She even knows how to run a John Deere snowplow in the winter.
Yeah.
In the event that somebody is brought on though, then they'll be here hopefully to take care of everything on the 3rd. Then we'll do a little camping.
but even in the evenings or something, if, you know, you can't, something happens and you can't get a hold of Joel, you know, left the number with, have Joel leave the number with the sheriff's office too, so. Can,
And they're aware of it too. So, Sherry will be here tonight to close up because I worked a straight 8 shift today to be here to the meeting, which this is my second one in 9 months. It's kind of unfamiliar territory to me, so.
It's kind of a
Other than that-
BS session, basically.
Yeah, that's all right. Everybody kind of gets to, chew a little fat and see what's up. I appreciate it. That's about it. That's all I got.
And speaking of retirements, Mr. George just informed Lori and I today that he's getting ready to cease and desist his DES position. So we will be looking.
They won't give me any retirement, but they said I could go away. It'd be okay.
I thought you were kidding earlier.
No, I have had a lot of fun with this job, and it's been a
Yeah.
good position, but I have too many things going on and too many things that I want to do that don't involve being on call all the time and not being gone for 2 or 3 months to some beach where I want to be in the wintertime. So I'm going to check it to someone else and give someone it's time you got someone with a little younger and with a little more promise than me in there anyhow. I've been around too long, and my management style is somewhat dated, and that's about it. So I'm going to submit a letter of resignation effective the end of June. Hopefully we can find someone else to take it by then. I'll be slowly bringing in whatever junk I have and trying to get things so that a successor can take over. If you know someone who would be interested in this, tell them it's not that much work. The past month, we didn't have a LEPC meeting because I was awaiting surgery and I didn't want to have an LEPC meeting, so got that taken care of. And a gallbladder operation that was successful, I guess. The doctor told me it was. Other than that, the only thing that's happened DES-wise this past month was a exercise in Missoula. About a week ago, they had a invasion of pipeline protesters and stressed the whole state out, and they asked me to be the logistics chief in their emergency operating center because their incident management team that they had assigned to it didn't have a logistics chief, and so I went and played the game with them for a day, and that was kind of fun. Trying to get them set up so that their EOC functions the way it's supposed to. Someone told them that we did real well with the EOC, so keep it working. And I hope you find someone. Will you talk to Stacy, or should I? I'll send you a letter, and I'll send you the position description.
We have a HR lady, Casey.
Stacy will do it. Okay.
Yeah, and George, so along the lines of, now that you're making this more official, would you be willing to sit on an interview panel to help us select the best?
Sure.
Because you know the ins and outs of what you do and the paperwork you have to do with the grant and.
I'll give them some help. And one good reason for terminating the end of June, that's the end of a fiscal year, or end of a quarter on the federal fiscal year. And I will walk them through the reports that are due on the grants then, and we'll have to get some letters set up for them to act as the administrator of the grants and everything. The stuff that I do now that you guys have signed off on, have to get them, or someone, actually, she could do that. Most of the
Maybe
grants.
before you leave, Casey has a new form for advertising, like the job description, what's
Okay.
required. Maybe she can have you chicken scratch that in so that because we'll have to get going on that ad
Yeah,
2 weeks, and
can do that.
if you're holding fast to June 30th, so.
Yep. Well, you know, nothing is permanent. I don't cast things in concrete or anything, but that's what I'm shooting for.
That's your target. Okay.
I might have a big family reunion back east on the 4th of July, and Liz refuses to go back east with me on the 4th of July.
Is it back east or is it back southeast?
Southeast. She says there's after she encountered chiggers one year, she said,
Yes.
no more. She said it's too hot, it's too humid, and there's too damn many
So are we
bugs.
talking Kentucky or where are we talking?
Kentucky,
Mm.
southern Kentucky. I gotta go back and see if they've lifted the Confederate soldier statue out of the park here. You know, so
They replaced it with a bucket of Colonel Sanders chicken.
yeah.
I got family all over the South.
Yeah, so just things like that. In fact, my brother is building a small lake there. Several years ago, I bought him in New Jersey an excavator. It's probably the first hydraulic excavator ever built. It's an Inslee, who always built the old cable machines, the steam shovels and stuff.
Talk about Cyrus Erie.
And he said that, in fact, he did some research and said when it was built, it was the biggest excavator there was. So he wants me to come back and help him run that and build a dam. I think he's crazy, but they get little projects like this that I go back and spend a month or so working with them and get to
Well,
visit all the
if
family.
it's a disaster, you can tell them you were a disaster emergency coordinator for a while.
We usually manage to make it a disaster. My best one was digging through a giant wasp nest with them following along in the ditch.
Oh, yikes.
But, no, I plan on doing some things like that in the future, and if we can get some of the other stuff that we've got going settled down a little bit, Liz and I can do a little traveling.
Okay.
But I'll still be around it, and I imagine I'll get some questions at first for a while. Not a problem.
And Miss Ellen?
Well, yesterday, our part-time, well, she's full-time right now, victim advocate, Shirley Iwata started, which is great, and she jumped right in. She's actually in Missoula today, shadowing the victim advocates over in Missoula County. So we're excited to have her on board. And it was just a great day because then we got notice from the Board of Crime Control, even though it's not the grant award, it's a letter saying the committee met and we're recommending that we receive a grant in the amount of $122,000, which is great, and that could make Shirley full-time with Marcy's Law so she can help with victims of non-sexual or domestic violence crimes. So, and the letter says this isn't an award letter, but I used to write grants to the same place, and they pretty much stick with this. They kind of say that although the Board of Crime Control is not compelled to follow the recommendations, it generally does. So we know that we're getting something, which will be great. So, and that's going to help us out so much, and pay for equipment, pay for training for Shirley, and it's a 2-year grant, which is awesome. So we know for 2 years we're going to have a full-time victim advocate.
Cool.
Part-time through OVW, part-time through this. So excited. Yeah, just so relieved. I think Mary and I were surprised that our grant didn't get tossed out because we did something wrong, let alone to find out that we're actually getting, hopefully, a little over $122,000. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. So that'll be a good thing. We definitely need victim services here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And that's about it. Just a good day yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So Candelabra, pressure's off now. Ellen's done. What
I'm
you gonna
done.
do?
Not much.
Nothing?
No.
Still same old report?
She was thinking about taking over George's position.
I was trying to
What?
get Kathleen to do it.
That would work.
Fit for you, Kathleen.
That's so
You would
funny.
do great at it. You just get an application in as soon as she gets the. It doesn't pay a whole lot, but it is fun.
Don't you want to know what he gets paid before you decide you don't want to do it?
Oh, yeah.
You even have a former coordinator back here that could tell you all about how to. It doesn't take much, but it doesn't take much time
I
usually.
negotiate.
Now, sometimes it takes a lot of time, but, and the fire season is coming up, but normally not a big deal.
Well, with us, we're just, this Friday, or next Friday, the 9th or the 10th, we're going to Hamilton for the Commissioners District 10 meeting, which is about 3 or 4 counties, Lake, Sanders, Missoula,
Lincoln.
Valley, Mineral, Lincoln. So, and then, of
So
course,
we'll
we're,
be having our meeting our regular meeting next Wednesday, because we'll all be in Hamilton. on
yeah,
Friday,
so instead of having a Friday meeting, we'll just have it on Wednesday, so. But, and then we're gonna start doing the budgets in June here, late June. So we'll probably, Keith will probably have little time slots for you to select and pick so we can all go through your wish list or your changes or adjustments. And we're hoping we can find out more. We, never find out from the state what our evaluation of our mill is worth until July, and then we never find out from the feds if we're getting pilled. But we'll do the best we can starting into June to start cobbling together something we all can work with, live with. Hopefully the other things will come through and we can talk about increases for employees or not or whatever. But that's about all I can think of, right?
So how did last year's budget work out? I mean, how is it? I mean, we're getting towards the end of June.
So far, everybody's on track other than the Fair Board. As far as their budgets, everybody is right.
Yeah.
On track on their budgets,
Yeah.
so.
Everybody's staying within their means really well.
Does that mean underspent?
Yeah, we're not
Right,
overspending.
yeah.
We still have a month. Give us time.
Yeah.
The damage we
And
can
just
do in
because
June.
you haven't spent it all doesn't mean to go out and
Did I tell you about the armored personnel carrier I ordered?
Are you going out with a bang or what?
Well, and you put money in a cash reserve.
I think last year we just pretty much,
And we were just
Just-
neutral.
yeah,
We didn't
even try to put money in reserves last year. We just wanted to balance the budget last
revenue
year
and
and
net
start.
expenditures, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Because the reserves that were there once upon a time were whittled away at over the years without having that audit done and stuff.
Okay.
So there's a Mako budget meeting being scheduled, July 12th, maybe?
the what?
July 11th, a budget Mako meeting, Mako budget meeting for budgeting, I've never seen one of those announcements before.
Oh, sometimes they have training where commissioners can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think,
Is the training to handle the budget, or?
I've been there before, and I've seen everybody that looks over a budget, from sheriffs to clerk and recorders and commissioners, because sometimes how they can get complicated with mills and all that stuff. So that might be what you're referring to, is it budget training?
I seen it, thought you and I were gonna go to that, weren't we, Casey? Is that the one we were gonna go to?
Yeah.
What about Nicole going to that? So
Yeah, Nicole.
Is that in Helena, Casey, or where at this time?
one in Helen and one in Miles City, if you want to take a.
Yeah, we were just gonna go over for the day, leave early and come back late.
So last little parting shot, if you happen to be on your nice lot that you have and you're gonna develop it and you dig that hole for the septic tank, be pretty prompt about getting that septic tank in the hole, because otherwise Uncle Henry's gonna get buried in there before you get the tank in. I just went up to do a site evaluation, in the perfect place for this septic tank, and the guy, they buried some guy in that hole there, so.
oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, how's that development going up there by my house?
On that note, Emily's
They're just gonna sit there, haven't really submitted a lot of it.
See you, Emily.
Somebody approved it.
Bye.
CFI.
Tim, does that mean, you were talking about your septic permits being up, does that mean that, do you think there's gonna be some subdivisions going on, like this land that you were talking about being purchased, are they intending to maybe lot it out, or is it gonna stay whole, or?
Nope, it's gonna stay whole, they just want one house in the middle of 160 acres and no neighbors.
Ah,
Oh, another one.
But
Definitely sign.
Shyrock, you
Yes,
might
ma'am.
see
I don't know
Shyrock
about
for
you.
plating
Well, did you say something?
somewhere by the end of the month, maybe.